Heads up, there is a crazy amount of spoilers ahead. Game of Thrones fans thought the Red Wedding was one of the most shocking character deaths. The Chicago franchise experiences that on nearly a daily basis. The producers aren't afraid of killing off or making actors leave the show, whether it's due to conflict, plot, or just as a shock factor. Here are why the main characters of Chicago Fire left. Teri Reeves as Dr. Hallie Thomas. The death of Dr. Hallie Thomas was a strike to the heart and a punch to everyone's gut. Her and Matthew Casey's Happily Ever After, played by Jesse Spencer, was just in reach, only to end up in flames. For Chicago Fire's first season, Dr. Hallie Thomas was admittedly a little in the way of Matt and Gabriela getting together the way fans wanted. But little did the fans know that Teri Reeves' future on the series wasn't going to last long anyway. The reason why Reeves was written off the show wasn't due to any conflicts or any scandal. It was an executive decision meant to build up the dramatic stakes in the very first season, and the doctor's brutal death by being struck in the back of the head invoked the right response from fans. Ever since she left, the actress has done incredibly well for herself. She was able to land a recurring role in ABC's Once Upon a Time as Dorothy Gale from The Wizard of Oz. Lauren German as Leslie Elizabeth Shea. There was a universal gasp when Leslie Shea was killed off in Chicago's Fire Season 3 premiere. Season 2's cliffhanger that had responders falling for a fire trap set by a serial arsonist set the stage for a main character's death, and Shea being killed by a stalker was the result. Everyone knew Shea as the capable paramedic who held her own in the nonsense world of Firehouse 51 and the best friend of Kelly and Dawson. Sure, ever since Leslie died, she made a few appearances in the third season during flashbacks, but it just wasn't the same, even as fans saw the actress thriving as Chloe Decker on Lucifer. Later on, executive producer Matt Olmstead would reveal that he wanted to kill a character that would have a wildly dramatic and emotional impact. He explained, "Going into it, we knew if we were going to do it, it had to be someone who was going to give us a big impact, as opposed to going for a lesser-known character, which would equate to a pulled punch. So as opposed to approaching it with timidity, we thought we'd go for it." And despite how difficult it would be, the writers knew that Leslie Shea's death would cut the deepest. Olmstead said that Shea's exit affected most people. Lauren German's reaction? There was already a discussion going on that this might happen. The executive producer would reveal that she was very professional about it. She joked that she wasn't going to miss the Chicago winters. She's a California girl. So it was nice to know she was able to joke about it a little bit. My experience, having done this a couple of times, is you're expecting the worst and then you're relieved by the professionalism and the graciousness of the actor. They almost knew that you're feeling worse than they are. It sucks, but it's a job and a craft. This is what happens sometimes. You mourn it and move on. As smoothly as Lauren's leaving was behind the scenes, the fans' reaction was anything but that. They were downright outraged, saying that Shea was one of the few female characters Chicago had in the first place, and the fact that she was a lesbian made fans call out the producers for killing her off. Olmstead reassured fans that Shea's death was purely for emotional impact and had nothing to do with her orientation. Lauren German thinks so as well, and since she's starring in her own hit series, fans were happy to redirect their outrage to the next character death, Peter Mills. Charlie Barnett as Peter Mills. This is one actor whose character wasn't killed off, so no one would have to handle Peter's death. Fans fell in love with this particular character, relating to him more than the others, because they were able to view the daunting and exciting world of a firefighter through his novice eyes. When the series started in 2012, Mills was just a rookie, taking the same steps as his late father. We watched him become a full-status firefighter, and we watched as he eventually switched over to a paramedic unit. As Season 3 wrapped up, the producers decided that it was time for Mills to go on in his own way in order to make way for others to shine. Apparently, the showrunners wanted to avoid having the series become a clown car filled with too many characters. According to the actor, Charlie Barnett, he found out that he was about to be unemployed just before the exit episode was taped. He told the Sarasota Herald-Tribune, "I hadn't heard anything about it, and then they pulled me into the room, sat me down, and apologized. They said that Peter Mills had reached a plateau, and they didn't know where to take him because he's done so much already. So they had Peter quit the team and move closer to his family, citing the reasons for his decision being that he wished to live outside of his late father's shadow." The fans' reaction? Heartbreak. Absolute heartbreak. And the obligatory anger at losing such a precious character. After being let go, Barnett would find success in other roles, such as landing a starring role in 2016 in the second and final season of ABC's mystery series, Secret and Lies. He also found a role on the CW series Valor, though it didn't last long. Finally, his acting chops would shine again as he starred in the critically acclaimed Netflix series Russian Doll alongside Natasha Lynch. His most recent role is Deathstroke, real name John Dingle Jr., on the CW series Arrow. Monica Raymund as Gabriella Dawson. Wish they could have done that ending better for the loyal fans. And the way they ended things for Dawson was so sad and hurtful, and unfortunately, there is no Chicago Fire without Gabriella Dawson. These are only some of the things that were said after Gabriella Dawson, played by Monica Raymund, left the firehouse to pursue a career in Puerto Rico in Season 6. It was incredibly shocking to see Gabriella gone, especially considering so much drama was surrounding her. Gabriella and Matt Casey also shared one of the slowest burning romances on the show, and it finally paid off when they got married halfway through the 5th season. She was also the sister of Chicago PD's Antonio Dawson, but she had her own dramatic arc as the paramedic in charge of Ambulance 61. We rejoiced when she passed all the tests to become a firefighter, and then again when she decided to return to her first place. Then we had the carpet ripped out from under our feet when Gabby announced her decision to leave Chicago and run a rescue operation in Puerto Rico. Out of all the characters that could have left, Monica's exit was still the most impactful. Since the very beginning and for the next 6 seasons, she's been with Chicago Fire. According to the actress, "I've given 6 years of my life to that show and created a family there, so it was a bit like dismemberment, if you will." She added, "I knew that my 6-year contract was coming to an end, and I felt like I was hungry to explore a different role, a different story." Fellow Chicago firefighter Cruz, played by Joe Minoso, was equally saddened by her exit, saying that, "You could never replace Gabriella Dawson." Other cast members agreed, saying that, "She helped make the show what it is, so there's a vacuum where she used to be." Following her exit, Raymund would come back for another episode, but she did book another role right away, a party animal lesbian with an obsession for solving mysteries on the new Starz series Hightown. Yuri Sardarov as Brian Otis Zvanacek. "I can't stop crying. I need to breathe, but I just can't without shaking. I'm empty." Well, random Twitter account? Everyone agrees. The tragic, horrifying death of Otis was the ultimate bucket of ice thrown over each loyal fan's head. Otis's death in the Season 8 premiere was the final straw for some fans, who stated that Chicago Fire officially lost them as viewers. Otis, played by Yuri Sardarov, had always been a reliable source of comic relief in the otherwise gritty world of Chicago Fire. And that was why when the producer wanted a real surprise, they agreed that it would have to be a core cast member that would die. Other candidates included Ritter, played by Daniel Curie. But since his character had only been around for the last season, the hammer fell on Precious Otis instead. After heading into a fire at a mattress factory caused by an equipment explosion, Otis sustained devastating burns. He wasn't able to make it to safety with the rest of the firefighters. He sent out a distress call before falling unconscious. It was Cruz, his best friend, roommate, and colleague, who found his charred body. Those last words, they still sting. And when the actor posted a farewell poem on his Instagram, he went ahead and ripped everyone's hearts out. After his heartbreaking exit from the show, Sardarov went on to play Nick Kahn in the 2020 film Adam, starring Aaron Paul. What do you think of these actors' exits? Which one were you most heartbroken about? Let us know in the comments below. Make sure to give this video a thumbs up, share it with your friends, and don't forget to subscribe to our channel Celeb Space and turn on those notifications.